I just heard on the news that Musk has sent this notice out, this email out to federal government workers that they are to resign by a certain time. I believe it's tonight, I'm not sure. Send a statement explaining what they had done the past week. Give them a 5-bullet note. And if you didn't respond, you consider that as a resignation. This one man, he wasn't born in America. He's an immigrant, just like everybody else. And then you got the president of the United States who lied to the American people, who actually stood before the American people and lied to them and told them he was going to be concerned about taking the price of eggs down. He said nothing about I'm going to go through this thing and strip all you motherfuckers from your jobs. He didn't say nothing like that. He made you think that he cared about you. And you voted for him, you trusted him. And he did the same thing, they doing the same thing to you as they did to the natives when they took their land. Doing the same thing to you that they did to blacks when they beat them into slavery. You're doing the same thing to you, and you don't even know it. But it's the same old game that's always been played. See, when I heard this guy say that, I heard somebody scream out, everybody should quit, just quit the job, just quit it. Maybe not forever, but temporarily. Or if you have to, quit it forever. Don't let these two men or this party that's backing them put you up against the wall like that and treat you like a hog. Talking to the American people, treating you just like a hog. They're laughing at you. You see how Musk put his shades on and stand on like he's a rock star? And Donald Trump, I think he changed the color of his hair. He's looking at Musk like he and Musk now, because he's looking at all of them laughing at the American people, because they feel that the only thing that you are concerned about is money. And he has the richest man in the world beside him. There is nothing that he cannot achieve, because money will buy any and everything. That's what he's saying. And he has evidence, because he rode that show, he rode that boat all of his darn life. Money has been able to buy him everything. Money has been able to keep him on top of the world. And now he got the richest man in America, or the richest man, they say, in the world, in his pocket. So he's thinking about the American people. So if you quit your jobs, if you just quit your job, there would be no profit in it, but he think that overall, you'd come back to him before he had to come back to you, because he got enough money to keep him going for a while. And you be screwed all the time. But the idea, you don't have to quit working like that. What you do is, you the people, you're the masters of the system. You don't know it. These guys have tricked you so, with their game, with their schemes, with their lies, and with their violence. They have tricked you so they got you even afraid to think. But the truth of the matter is, you got the power. All you got to do is cut that plan down. See, what they use is to trick you really easy is money. You see, everything that you want in the country, in the world, basically costs money. They got a tab on bubblegum. You paying for it. Nothing is free. And they got the money. And they got the resources, because they've either stolen them. Look what they're trying to tell Ukraine. Give us $500 billion, or access to certain resources that you got. In other words, we're going to rob you. We don't give a stink about you. We're going to rob you out of your resources that you could utilize to rebuild all of the hell you've had to go through with Russia. No, we don't give a stink about that. You just commit to us, and we might not even give you anything, because we got these liars that's running the governments now. We got these cheaters that's running the government now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something. I guess I've been nice, or trying to be nice, because I know people have talked about God in such a way that nobody really wants to hear about God. You had the prosperity preachers pimping God. You had the holy rollers out there pimping God. And the pain and suffering that was going on in the beginning, back in Moses' day, still going on today, and not going any place. And why should you, in your mind, say, should I be reaching out to a God over there who has been able to do no better than this? got us right now hoping, got us hoping in a thief, got us hoping in a crook, got us hoping that that crook will care about us more so than just the common American people, the common everyday people. Maybe these crooks will help us out. That's what they're doing. That's why Donald Trump is in office, because they're hoping. They've given up on everything else. Now they were hoping in a crook, and this here crook just stole a bold-faced lie to them like it was nothing. So what I say to them, ladies and gentlemen, is this, and I say to you, is there is one power that I could advocate for, and that's God, an invisible power. And you can't see God except in the evidence that all that you can see is of God, and all that you can hear is of God. All that you can touch and feel is of God. All that you can breathe is of God. All that you can, you know where I'm going with that. So that's all the evidence. So all of this is good. So you know one thing about God. God is good. God is good. God is not the one that's causing you pain and suffering. That's come from guys like Trump, Putin, and all these dictators, and other guys who are not dictators, but they're still robbing you nonetheless. If poverty and crime and violence exist, there is the same stuff going on everywhere. But in God's plan, the same God that I just got through telling you about, that masters all of the stuff, has a plan for all human beings to live on earth. God made you in such a way that you want your needs, you want your wants, and your desires met. Every human being on the earth was made like that. Not only that, every human being on earth was made to want to live in peace and be prosperous and free. Every human being on earth was made to want to live and to be joyous and to be happy. Every individual on earth was made to want to live their dreams. Every individual on earth was made to want a fulfilled and a satisfied life. Every individual on earth want to make sure that they have to suffer for nothing, like, but not limited to food and clothing and shelter and education and healthcare and computers and flights and all the stuff that's made by the hands of man. They want to have access to it if they want, need, or desire. Every human being on earth. God made you like that. I don't care where you're at, black or white, young or old, American or otherwise. You were made like that. And all that you cannot possess of that is because you've been limited and restricted by those who don't know God, who know that you don't know about God, so they pull the wool over your eyes and do to you what they have been doing to you. But my mission is to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that that is exactly what it is. There is a God. And that God made it, my friends, that you can live just like I just explained it to you. And the way that God designed it was not for you to need money. Man came up with that as a scheme to do to you exactly what those who got money is doing to you. Whether you are an individual or whether you are a country, a nation, or whatever you are. Where money is involved, it is made to do to you exactly what it's doing. And that ain't presenting the thing that I just got through describing to you. So it has nothing to do with God, except to deny those who don't know God the benefit of God. See, the way God planned it was, since every last one of you were made to want to enjoy really heaven on earth, since every last one of you were made to want to experience that, and God provided on the earth the resources outside of yourselves that would be necessary in order for you to do that, then the only thing required of you is for you who would benefit from it is to participate in creating it, but it gave you the choice of choosing what you would do in the process. So you can choose that which gives you the greatest joy. The greatest joy. When you choose something and you're doing something that gives you the greatest joy, everything else is just cream on the top. But God designed it so you could do that. And yeah, that is heaven. That is heaven. And every last one of you were made to experience heaven. And God has prepared it that you could experience heaven today. The only thing that is stopping you from experiencing heaven is that you do not know the truth and you don't trust anything outside of that which you have been indoctrinated to. And so you suffering a loss of heaven because you are caught up in a trap. You're like a rat when he gets on a sticker board. That foot get on there, he can't get out. He just try everything. The more you try to get out, you get your whole body in. Or when you get in a trap, you stick your head in there trying to get some peanut butter in you. That thing snap your neck. That's the trap that we as human beings are in. But you have heard of something called faith. Faith means that you take a chance. But it is also indicated that by taking a chance and not looking at it as taking a chance, but claiming it, God has to, what? Back it up. But that's not the way the game is played. The game is played by you knowing the truth, walking according to the truth. Now, I have explained to everybody that's listening to this video how it doesn't matter where you live in the world. You can live without the pain. You can live without the suffering. You can live without the lying, the cheating, the stealing, the killing, the terror, the war, guns and all that stuff, bombs and all that stuff. You can live without that, but that's a choice. See, that's a choice you have to make. You don't know that because you have been sold a bill of goods that says that you got to live with all that stuff. You have been sold a bill of goods that said the world cannot exist without all that stuff. But the truth of the matter is, that's a lie. All of that stuff means nothing, but that it is a tool of deception, because this does not help you to experience what God designed you to experience. It doesn't. You know it doesn't. So if you would want to, why you want to wait till you die? That might have been, they might be lying to you about that, talking about after you die you can do that. You can't do it here. Why you gonna trust you can do it after you die? The only thing that would make me think that you can do it after you die if you're doing it here, or at least trying. So I'm just trying to say to you, the American people, and people all over the globe, especially those of you who have run away from your own country, trying to find some peace and solitude somewhere else, only to find out they done put you in handcuffs and put you on a bus or plane and sending you back to anywhere. The same message that I'm saying to you as well. It will work for one, it will work for everybody on earth. Every human being on earth can live just like I just got through describing it to you. But you got to turn your back on the bull. You have to turn your back on the bull and look forward and step forward toward that heaven I just got through sharing with you. A man sitting up here with a saw, a chainsaw on television, jumping up and down, telling the American people, we're going to cut you, whatever you've been had, whatever you might have benefited from, we're going to cut all that out. We're going to cut all that out, and we jumping and shouting because you can't do a darn thing about it. I got the man in power and I got the money. Can't nothing stop us. That's what they're saying to the American people. And if you try to play the game the way they're playing it, you can't stop them. But you have to play the game the way they don't even know how that game is. And that's the game that works for everybody, because everybody's in it. Everybody playing a part in it. And they chose the part to give them their greatest joy. And everything that comes out of it is nothing but thrill. It ain't no pain. It ain't no suffering. It ain't no getting mad. It ain't no getting upset with somebody. It's not cussing folks out. It's not having to go get drunk. It's not having to gamble trying to see if your ship will come in. No. It's guaranteed for every move you make. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you that to think about. You know, if you think about it, thinking it's not good enough, you got to do something. And look, I talk to you about doing something. Let me tell you how important it is to me, and maybe give you some evidence that I'm sure of what I'm speaking of. Trump and bullshit. I'm sure of what I'm speaking of. See, people are really caught up into the world. My first divorce came from someone who was decided that what I just got through telling you about was not worth it. What you guys are caught up into was what life was all about. So that was a divorce. That separated me from that. And I'm here in the military after that, only to find out that the President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, who had so many people, three or pink, he was a wonderful president. And you know who those people were. They were white people. And people usually that had money. The poor people, even white poor people, was going through the same kind of suffering that we've always gone through. And here I am in foreign countries walking around with a uniform on, an American uniform on, like I'm proud, holding up the bloodstained banner. And then they doing that kind of stuff. I'm not a fool. That was my protest. My protest was to stop taking orders. That was my protest. Why? Because you, my friends, are more important than me walking around taking orders. And I wasn't going to take an order when I know it's causing you pain and suffering. That's right. And when I came out of the military, I went all over this country and on faith, thumbing, begging for gas, just get on street corners, stop in churches wherever I could, just to share with you that God is real and God is the answer. And no Republican, no white man, no black man is the answer. God is the answer. And whoever is led by God will be the instrument that is used, and you will know that it's real because the pain and suffering will be gone and you will be living like you're in heaven. No jive here. So if that message is worth me committing crimes trying to get your attention, because when I do stuff like this, they're not going to put it on television. They're not going to talk about it on the news. This is not ugly stuff. This is good stuff, and they don't want you to know the good stuff. So it goes me doing my thing. I don't want to invite you back in those days when I was younger, because I know if you're not made, if you don't have your mind made up, if you're not committed to death, you're not going anywhere. You got to at least be committed. You got to at least know that change that you're talking about is so wonderful that people who will benefit from the lack of that will kill you. And I couldn't ask you to put your life on the line. I just hope that once you can feel it, once you can touch it, that it would take you there. But hey, you haven't even heard it, and that's been over 40-some years. And see, hey, time has passed, and I might have been biting my tongue, but when it didn't work then, I feel like I couldn't stop, so I keep talking. But talking is nothing but talking. It's walking that's going to get us there. But I want you to know I can't get us anywhere alone. It's going to take us, all of us, everybody that will have their dreams met, everybody who will be living as though they're in heaven have to participate in the process. And it ain't no struggle. And ain't nobody thinking about what Trump can do to you. You can't do nothing. What that other dude name? Musk can't do nothing. So why don't you consider this, ladies and gentlemen? If you bought that lie that Trump told you, gonna take down the price of eggs, all of this stuff was going to kind of chill a little bit because he was the only man that can do it. And he haven't addressed any of that. All he's been doing is causing more pain, firing people, telling them how much they are nothing. And this is all we're doing. We got to do better. Let's do better, okay? All right, I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights. Oh, one thing I want you to remember this. September the 11th, what, 911? My wife was picking me up from prison. I was in Stillwater prison. I had committed a crime. When, what that guy named, George Bush, and those people stole that election. They stole it as far as I could see. I wrote them a letter, and I told them I was going to do everything I could to expose them. But I had been out there, got it on paper, and so what they did, they just came and put my tail in prison. So anyway, on this particular day, my wife's coming to pick me up. And I'm looking at what the world was going through, what America was going through, because they were playing the game. And I was just coming out of prison from wanting to share with you the message that would free you forever. But that's life. That's life. That's what you meant to me. I would sacrifice to give you the truth that had been given to me. That is the answer to your prayer. And these jokers just come to line. Mostly everybody that he placed in position of power, from those people that he fired, are nothing but liars. They're yes people for him to help them mess over not just Americans, but mess over as much of the world as they possibly can. That's what that's all about. Now let them say they're not. And when they say they're not, ask them for their evidence and see what they got to show. They ain't got nothing to show. Bye-bye.